And I imagine both of these coaches and assistant coaches, Tim Long and Howie Vandermast, have gigantic butterflies tonight.
Oh, no question about it, of course. So when was the last time this game, this portion of the season meant much? Usually Massena firmly in control this time of year. And, you know, if you had told me this scenario when we started the season, I would have said, yeah, you're is for certain. Well, we've got Sean Putnam's line out there. David Grant on the right wing for Potsdam. Tony Walker on the left wing. And Chris Hayes will be starting with Derek Green at the blue line. For Massena, Jake Morris, Jason LaBarge, and Chris Cameron. It will be Todd Collins and Brian Levac at the blue line. Doug Cullen between the pipes for the Raiders. And, of course, Kerry Blanchard for the Potsdam Sandstoners. Puck is dropped, and this one's underway. Off the face-off, it comes in the Massena zone. Picked up by Levac to Collins to Levac. He headmans, intercepted, comes back to the Massena line. Here's Todd Collins with it. Collins flips it to Brian Levac. Levac starts it on the right wing side and dumps it in the Potsdam zone. It whistles in behind the net. Jason LaBarge racing in after it. Here's LaBarge in the corner trying to drop to Chris Cameron. Chris Hayes and Chris Cameron dig for it behind the net. Cameron and Hayes, they still jam. It slides along the boards to Jake Morris. He drops it back to the point. Brian Levac, did he keep it in? It bounces. It's still in the zone. It comes to Cameron. Here's Big Chris trying to take it in the slot. The backhander is knocked away by the defense. They jam for it. Morris gets knocked down but stays with the puck. Back to Collins at the point. He cranks it up, deflected wide by the sprawling defenseman. It comes to Jake Morris. Morris to Chris Cameron in the corner. Back to Brian Levac. He drives it right on the save made. Rebound side of the net. Cameron shot just wide. Puck whistles into the corner. Racing around the boards, the Sandstoners, and they move it out to center ice. Dumped right back in the zone as Massena will make a line change here and get their second unit out. Here come the Sandstoners. Now Hayes moving it in the Massena zone. Bounces over Collins' stick. Chris King racing for it. Here's King in behind the net in the Massena zone. King centering pass knocked down, and Massena breaks out with Jason Chilton. Long headman pass goes to Kellison. Freddie sliding it to Bergeron. His shot, and Blanchard makes a big sprawling save. And Potsdam clears the puck out to center ice. Here's Aaron Barkley at his own blue line. Flipping ahead for Sebastian Bergeron. He steers it to the Potsdam line. Picked up there by Chris King. Backhander into the Massena zone. It goes by Kelly Ross. In behind the net, Chris Aldis is there. And we have a whistle, and we're going to have our first penalty of the game, a roughing call. And it's going to go against the Massena Red Raiders, Jason Chilton. And Potsdam goes on the first power play of the game.
Jason's coming to the box, shaking his head. He plays a physical game out there. Just prior to that, he had taken assistant captain John Thaler heavily into the boards, down to the right of the Potsdam goalie. And really, Thaler went to the bench, and he was shaking his head.
So Massena will have to kill or try to kill off a penalty here. Coming out will be Adam Morris and Trevor Cameron. It will be Sean Putnam on the power play with David Grant and Tony Walker. At the points, Derek Green and Jason Buchanan. Buchanan with a heavy shot off the face-off. Back to Buchanan. He flips it to Green. He directs it in the Massena zone. Goes wide. Picked up by Barkley. He bounces it along the boards. Trevor Cameron pokes it in behind the net. Gets tied up. Stays with it, though. Bouncing puck. Cameron comes away with it. Trevor moves it. It bounces off a leg. Comes to Aldis. Aldis trying to clear the zone, and it slides just out to center ice. Now Cameron trying to sweep it ahead. Aldis. And Cameron finally dumps it to the Potsdam line. Buchanan flipping in the Massena zone. Barkley picks it up, moves it back out. It bounces over a stick up into the Potsdam bench, and Massena's killed 32 seconds of the penalty.
Raiders caught a break there. Trevor Cameron thinking offense in his defensive zone. You're killing a penalty. You want to think defense. He had a chance to really run that puck up the boards and have no problems. He tried to come across diagonally, send Adam Morris away, and Potsdam man stepped up and intercepted. You want to think defense first. Clear that zone.
Mike Saber's line out now. Saber out there with Chris King and John Thaler for Potsdam. Jake Morris and Chris Cameron to kill the penalty. Off the face-off, the puck bounces to the Massena line. Brian Levac throws a check. The bouncing puck comes in the Massena zone, in behind the net. Here's Jake with it. Jake slides it free for Todd Collins. Collins looks for the hole and moves it to the blue line, but not out. Bounces into the corner. Brian Levac is with it now. Levac flips it around for Chris Cameron in the corner. Massena zone. He bounces it to the blue line, but again, not out of the zone. Bouncing puck goes to the side of the net now. Turning around Saber, and he flips it, and it goes back to the blue line. Bouncing and out to center ice. Chris Cameron picks it up. Cameron, he races in on Chris King. Here's Cameron, stops in front, the backhander shot, save, the rebound, and another save by Kerry Blanchard on the shorthanded attempt by Chris Cameron. Oh, what a save, and the bouncing puck controlled by Cameron, into the Massena zone. It bounces free, and it's Collins wrapping it around the boards. For Brian Levac. Levac loses it to Mike Saber. Saber has it poke checked away, and Massena gets the man back. Puck goes into the corner. Now Chris Cameron. Out it goes. Here's Jason Labarge busting in the Potsdam zone. Labarge stops about halfway in. Waits. Takes it in the middle. His shot right on the rebound. They jam at it. It sits in the slot. Finally, it's cleared into the corner by the Sandstoners. Freddie Kellison with it. Kellison flipping it around the boards. Comes to the blue line. Barkley keeps it in. Blanchard way behind the net to play it. He lifts it up along the glass, and it bounces up over into the crowd. And the faceoff will come inside Potsdam territory. Massena, great job killing that penalty.
Excellent job. And number 44 for the Sandstoners, Chris Hayes, was involved in 2 plays. On one, he looked like a goat. Chris Cameron busted down the left side, one-on-one situation, and put a move on him, just undressed him, went in, and Blanchard made a great save. Then the second one, he was the hero, the rebound out in front, and he had Jason Chilton tied up. The shot came from the point, big rebound, but Chilton couldn't get the stick on it because Hayes had him tied up.
Off the faceoff, Trevor Cameron's line out there. Eddie Davis and Adam Morris are the 2 wingers. Now Trevor throws the check. The board pokes back to the blue line. Barkley trying to keep it in. He can't. And Eddie Davis has to come back and pick it up for Massena. Davis at the red line, slides it in the Potsdam zone, bounces to the side of the net. Blanchard plays it there for his defenseman Buchanan, who rides it around the boards. Barkley at the point. Quick wrist shot, knocked down in front, and it's underneath. Oh, there's a hand pass against Potsdam, and they didn't blow the whistle on that. I can't believe it. Richie Scott takes it across the zone in the Massena territory, and Aldis takes him out of the play. And Trevor Cameron picks up the puck, and he is tripped up. And the puck whistles into the corner. After it there is Sean Putnam. Barkley takes him out of the play, and it's Aldis after it. He's ridden into the boards, trying to kick it free to Eddie Davis in behind the net. Davis now around the boards, and he moves it out on the wing, flips to Trevor Cameron. Here's Cameron, gets tied up, and back the other way. The Sandstoners move it in the zone. Offsides will be the call, and we'll have a face-off with 10:20 left to go in the first period. Couple of no calls there.
Couple of no calls. Maybe they're going to let them play hockey, Jerry. This Potsdam defense, they're not touted that highly. They're not spectacular, but they seem to get the job done. They do a lot of little things in there, like clutching and grabbing and moving you out in front, and they do what it takes to win. And I know Kerry Blanchard's appreciative of those things.
Jake Morris takes the faceoff from Massena against Putnam. He wins it. Here comes Jason Labarge into the Potsdam zone, stops at the blue line. Drops it back to Brian Levac. He steps into the slot. His drive right on the save. And Blanchard covers up as Jason Labarge was bearing down on him.
Oh, boy, Brian Levac, after Jason Labarge had gained the zone and laid it back to him, the lane opened up, and Brian Levac went down to about 30 feet and wound up with a big slap shot and just got a piece of it, partially fanned on it. I'll tell you, that was a golden opportunity for the Raiders.
Jake Morris will take the faceoff again against Putnam. Puck sits in the circle, goes back to the point. Collins flips it into the corner. Jake after it there, bounces it in behind the net. Chris Cameron rides it around the boards, coming up with a David Grant. He moves it, doesn't get it out. Kept in by Brian Levac. Levac flips to an open wing. Bounce to the blue line, kept in there by Chris Cameron. Cameron now to Labarge. Labarge being ridden into the corner. Labarge trying to move it. Still kicks it along the boards, goes to Cameron. Cameron steps in front to Morris. He can't get the shot off. Goes to Levac. He whips it right on. The save made, and Blanchard will hold on for the face-off. And 9:35 remain in the first period. It's still 0-0 on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
I'll tell you, the Raiders, Jerry, are playing their type of game. When they finish their checks, especially in the offensive zone, they've been very successful. And to a man, every forward out there and so far in this first period has been finishing their checks excellently, and that pays off down the road.
Jason Chilton's line out there against the Sabre line. Off the faceoff, Bergeron in behind the net, steals the puck. Trying to center Kellison. It goes bouncing behind him. Picked up there by Alex Smith. He rides it around the boards and out to center ice. Chilton drops it to Aaron Barkley. Barkley goes to Chris Aldis. Aldis from the red line dumps it in the Potsdam zone. It whips around the boards. After it is Freddie Kellison. Kellison gets knocked out. Bergeron back to the point. Barkley winds up his shot. Oh, just wide through traffic to the other point. Chris Aldis with it, flipping it in the corner, knocked down. It bounces around Jason Chilton. He's ridden into the boards. The puck comes free, picked up by John Thaler. Thaler moves it around the boards and out to center ice. Aldis is there for Massena. Aldis turns it around at his own blue line. Headman to Kellison. Freddie takes it in the zone. Gets by Buchanan. Feeds it to Bergeron. Bergeron trying to go to Chilton in the center. It's knocked away. Bounces in behind the net. Bergeron back to the point. And Barkley can't keep it in. Kind of a hard pass. Barkley backs up now and then flips it in the zone. Massena will have to get on side, and Potsdam will clear it. Intercepted pass, bounces at the Potsdam blue line. Here's Scott. His shot goes high over the net in the Massena zone. That may be the first puck that's been directed at the Massena net. Morris with it now, flips it to Barkley. Barkley goes for Eddie Davis. Here's Davis to Adam Morris, breaking in the zone. Morris after it in the corner now, takes it in behind the net, loses his footing. The bouncing puck comes back to the blue line and out to center ice. Here come the Sandstoners, moving it in the Massena zone, dumping it behind the net. Cullen will clear it into the corner, goes to Morris. Morris leaves it for T. Cameron. Here comes Trevor, going by one. He gets knocked down. There's going to be a penalty on Potsdam. And Massena will get their first power play of the evening as Trevor Cameron gets tripped up, and the Raiders will go on the power play with 7:56 remaining in the period and a 0-0 score.
We talked about at the top of the show how the Sandstoners want to shrink that defensive coverage. What that's going to do is open up the points, and Massena's utilizing that here in the first period. A lot of shots from the points. They're feeding the point men, and they're also sticking somebody right in front of Kerry Blanchard. And if you keep doing it long enough, it'll pay off.
Chris Hayes gets the gate for tripping, and Massena goes on the power play off the faceoff. Jake gets upended, has it poked away, gets it back, dumps it, but Potsdam will dump it down the ice as Jake was on his belly and couldn't play the puck. It comes to Barkley's side of the net. Potsdam sending in 1-4 checker. Here's Barkley moving it up for Massena. Ahead to Aldis. Chris takes it in the zone, left wing side. Aldis now in the corner. Gets ridden into the boards and loses his stick. The puck is underneath him. And Jason Labar's trying to dig it out, but it's covered up, and we'll have a face-off inside Potsdam territory.
Got 7:28 left to play in this first period, a 0-0 score, and we've got a jam-packed crowd here at the Massena Arena tonight, and they're going to be treated to an outstanding hockey game.
Has been so far. Jake Morris, face-off right side, off Putnam. Off the face, controlled by the Sandstoners and out to center ice. Dumped right back in the zone. Massena gets on sides. Blanchard plays it in behind the net for Derek Green. Green can't clear the zone. Picked up by big Chris Cameron. Centers it right on. The save made. And holding on is Blanchard. And Jason Labarge was in there and got a little abuse that time. Of course, you get in on top of the goalie, you're going to get abused by the defenseman. And tell you what, Blanchard held on. It was not a hard shot, but there's a lot of traffic in front.
Full marks to the Potsdam defense, though. You watch them when the shot comes in. They're not being a spectator. They're not being the goaltender. Their job, they're going to let the goaltender make the save, but to tie up and move out any white shirt that's around Kerry Blanchard, and they're doing an excellent job.
48 seconds left in the power play. Off the draw. Cameron, he can't control it. Back to the blue line, and Barkley tried to keep it in, but it jumped over his glove and into the stands, and we'll have a face-off outside Potsdam territory.
Two Raiders try to corral that one with their gloves. Jake Morris put his hand up. He got a little piece of it, and Aaron Barkley got a bigger piece of it, and he just said deflected up into the stands.
Jake coming out to take the face-off, this time against Mike Saber. Off the draw, Jake wins it, flips it ahead for Cameron. Cameron dumps it in the Potsdam zone. Buchanan after it. Flips it to the blue line. Kept in there by Aldis. He drops it back, but it's out to center ice. Here comes Saber in on Barkley, one-on-one. Barkley gets a stick on it and knocks it away into the corner. Now bouncing around to Jake Morris, and Jake starts it out. Here comes Morris, flipping it ahead. Labarge. Labarge, sharp angle shot is wide. Bounces back to the blue line, back in the zone, into the corner. Aldis flips in for Chris Cameron. Cameron has it knocked away, and it's dumped out to the blue line and just out to center ice. And here we go again. Here's Saber. This time shoots from center ice, and that's the first shot on net for Potsdam. And Doug Cullen makes the save, flips it around the boards. It comes to Bergeron, and the penalty is up, and we're back to 5-on-5. So Massena's power play goes for naught here. Here comes Bergeron. Headman pass to Chris Cameron. Cameron into the zone, knocks it. He wants off, and he flips it in on net, and Blanchard flips it to Sean Putnam. 6:08 left, first period. Bouncing puck out to center ice. Here's Collins with it. Dumps it right back in the Potsdam zone. It goes in the corner. Blanchard way out of his net to play it, but I think it's an offside.
We've talked in the past, Jerry, about those blind passes, and the Raiders almost got burned on one just a second ago. Chris Aldis, playing the point on the power play, stepped inside the zone and left a little blind pass. There was no one there but a Potsdam defender, and away came the Sandstoners on a 2-on-1, but Aaron Barkley played it beautifully and made a good defensive move to turn a potential threatening situation into just another rush.
No score. 0-0 on the Corky scoreboard. Under 6 to play in the first period. Off the face-off. Here comes Potsdam Sean Putnam into the Massena zone. Putnam trying to go by the defense, but Collins takes him out of the play nicely. Puck whips around the boards. Here's a sharp angle shot wide, and Bergeron will pick it up and start it out. Sebastian trying to move it ahead to Kellison. Freddie racing for it. Here's Kellison, side of the net. He can't get the shot off. Circles into the corner. Back to the point it goes. Levac, bounce pass. Collins, he winds it up wide in the corner. In behind the net is Kellison. Freddie with a puck now and whips it around the boards, but nobody there for Massena. And back out to center ice comes David Grant. Here's Grant in the Massena zone. It's knocked away. Sean Putnam's going to chase it down in the corner. Putnam ridden into the boards twice and still gets free. The bouncing puck still underneath him. Where is it? Nobody knows. Chilton, now he finds it, flips it ahead to himself and starts behind the net. Moves it to Kellison. Kellison gets railed by Buchanan and slides the puck out with his glove, but Potsdam will touch it, so there's no call there. Now the Sandstoners. Chris Hayes with it, flips into the Massena zone. Levac does not get it out. Bounces into the corner, comes in behind the net. Levac will pick it up again. He rides it around the boards for Eddie Davis. Buchanan stops it at the blue line. Can he keep it in? No. It comes to Eddie Davis. Here's Davis flipping it ahead into the Massena zone. Trevor Cameron racing for it in the corner. Cameron ridden into the boards by Buchanan, trying to stay with it. He does. Cameron now trying to slide it back to the point. Aldis pinches in. Cameron trying to come up with a loose puck, but the Sandstoners dump it out to center ice. Aaron Barkley at his own blue line. 4:20 left. No score in the first period. Ahead to Trevor Cameron. Knocked away from him. Bouncing back out to center ice to the Massena line. Chris Aldis. Ahead to Eddie Davis. Goes by him. In the Potsdam zone, Jason Buchanan in behind the net. Davis rides him into the boards and loses his stick. Picking up the puck is Alex Smith. Bounces it out to center ice. Now the puck slides in the Massena zone off a stick. In on Cullen. He'll leave it for Aldis. Here's Aldis behind his own net now. Loses track of the puck. Oh, he finds it. Flips it over to Barkley, and Aaron starts out. Here's Barkley's head man. Trevor Cameron skates. It goes to Aldis. Aldis flipping it ahead for Cameron. Here comes Trevor. Across the blue line right in front. Adam Morris, the shot, the rebound. In the slot. Back to the point. Aldis, his shot, the save. The rebound, Eddie Davis. It comes to Adam Morris, the big save. They bounce it back to the point. Here's the shot and the save, the rebound, and the whistle blows. Oh, my God. Blanchard was awesome, wasn't he?
What a flurry by the Raiders, but Kerry Blanchard equal to the task. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at him. Trevor Cameron sent Adam Morris in all alone on the left side. He went right in, and Blanchard, equal to the task, just stoned him. But the rebound came out, and they all had a whack at it. 1, 2, 3 chances, and Blanchard made the save. And the last one went in the net, but he had the puck in his glove, and they had pushed him in the net. What a series for Kerry Blanchard.
Face off right side. Inside Potsdam territory. 3:24 left. Jake Morris to take the face against Sean Putnam. Off the face-off, back to the point. Levac cranks it up, knocked down, goes into the corner. Jason LaBarge pokes at it, can't control it. It's dumped, kept in at the point. Bounces into the slot, nobody there from Massena. It comes back out, dumped back in the zone. After it, there's Hayes. He backhands it to center ice. Todd Collins is there to dump it to the open wing, Potsdam zone. In behind the net, Derek Green with it. Green flips it high in the air to the Massena line, flipped back to the Potsdam line. Putnam with it, taken out of the play by Jake Morris, and here comes Jake the other way. Flipping it ahead for Chris Cameron. Cameron racing in there after it. It's poked away. Jason LaBarge. LaBarge in the corner to Cameron. Cameron gets tied up. Putnam picks up the loose puck in behind the net. Putnam and LaBarge. Putnam flips it out to center ice, and Levac dumps it back in the zone. Bounces into the side of the net, takes a funny bounce. Massena's going to make a line change here as Potsdam clears it to the Massena line. Here comes Mike Saber with it. Saber trying to get through. He's taken out of the play nicely by Todd Collins again, and picking it up is Aldis. Here's Chris Aldis for the Raiders into the zone. Aldis stops, looks to go back to Bergeron. Bergeron takes a whack at it, trying to get it into Aldis along the boards. Now bounces into the corner. Bergeron goes back after it there. Aldis, they jam for it along with Chris Hayes of Potsdam, and finally it's underneath the maze of players, and we'll have a face-off. 2:07 left in the first period, and on the Corky's Collision scoreboard, 0-0.
Have fast pace, hectic pace, just 2 penalties in this first period, 1 to each team, and this, as we mentioned at the top of the show, it's going to be an exciting hockey game, and this first period has been very, very entertaining. As you mentioned, 2:07 left in a 0-0 tie.
Face-off left side of Kerry Blanchard in the Potsdam zone. Jason Chilton wins the draw, gets to Bergeron. Bergeron in the corner now. Stick handling, centers it right in front. It goes behind Kellison, and he couldn't get a stick on it, and the Sandstoners move it back out to center ice. Kellison knocked off his stick. Chris King flips in the Massena zone. King after it there. He follows it into the corner. Here's King flipping it right in front. The shot, they fire it wide. Puck bounces in behind the net for Aaron Barkley. Barkley flips it, doesn't get it out. It's knocked down. It comes to Jason Chilton. Here's Chilton. Headman of Bergeron goes by him. That'll be an icing call on Massena.
Watching Chris Aldis go to the bench, he took one up underneath. It got under the mask, either in the throat or up on the underneath the chin when he ran into Chris King right here at the blue line. King's stick came up right underneath the jaw of Chris Aldis, and he's rubbing it gingerly, but he'll be back out there next shift. And that's what the Raiders got a little out of sync because Chris had been down on the ice and reacting to that injury, and they're actually playing 5-on-4 there for a few seconds.
Sean Putnam will face it off against Trevor Cameron, right side in the Massena zone. Off the draw, the puck sits. Finally, it's picked up by Todd Collins. He takes it in behind the net. Collins dropping it for Brian Levac. Levac starts it out for Massena. Goes to Eddie Davis. Davis goes to T. Cameron. Here's Cameron, knocked off the puck. Bouncing around, picked up there by David Grant. Grant dumps in the Massena zone. It goes right on, and the save is made by Cullen. He rides it around the boards. It comes to Grant. Grant taken out of the play. The puck sits in the slot, but Adam Morris comes back. Trying to come up with it, gets knocked down. Here's the shot right on, and the save made by Doug Cullen. Collins with it, drops it for Levac. Levac to Adam Morris. Morris goes to T. Cameron. Cameron moves it out with his skate to center ice. Morris pokes at it, can't control it, and it's dumped back in the zone. 50 seconds remaining in the first period, still scoreless. Collins with it, flipping it over to Levac. Here's Levac leading the attack. Down the ice it goes. They wave off the icing as it goes in behind, and Blanchard's going to run it along the glass and up into the stands. That's the second time he has done that, and the face-off will come inside Potsdam territory.
I think the first time was intentionally. That time it was accidental. Those two big forwards that play on either side of Sean Putnam, both sophomores, David Grant, he's 5'11", 190, and on the other side, Tony Walker's 5'10", 170. They're a couple of tough bookends, and they just do a lot of digging in the corner, and they're tough to handle.
Face off left side Potsdam zone. Jake Morris takes the draw, gets a shot on, and Blanchard kicks it into the corner. After it there, John Thaler moves it all the way down the ice. That'll be an icing call against the Sandstoners, and he was trying to get Chris King breaking. He almost hit him. He would have been away.
When the Raiders have a chance to get in on top, they're trying to put pressure on the Sandstoner defense, but if they're not in initially quickly, they send only one man, and what it does, that opens up the middle. So Potsdam, seen on a couple of occasions, have hit that man up the middle. It has connected 2 or 3 times, and when it misfires, you usually get an icing call.
Faced off again right side this time in the Potsdam zone. Jake Morris off the face-off against Saber, and Saber comes out of the pack with a puck. Here's Saber now, being bothered, and no penalty called. Everybody looking for one. Here comes the puck bouncing around, and Aldis made a good play to block that pass. Puck back to the blue line, bounces to Chris Cameron. He bangs it out to center ice. 6 seconds left, dump back in the Massena zone. 4-3, that's going to take care of the period right there. So we have a scoreless first period, and that's a moral victory for the Potsdam Sandstoners, as Massena really had a lot of chances and didn't score.
Yes, that's right, Jerry. And right at the end, a great defensive play by number 7 for the Raiders, Chris Aldis. Mike Saber was sent in alone on that left side, or he darted in alone. The pass came diagonally across the ice from the right side if Chris Aldis doesn't just deflect that to the corner, and the other 2 by 2 goals. And also in those 10 losses, 8 of them were to state-ranked teams.
Right.
So,
on the scoreboard, Massena coming out with a Jake Morris line, and it's going to be Mike Saber's line for Potsdam. Thaler and Chris King are the wingers. And off the face-off, it comes to the Potsdam line, picked up there by Chris Hayes, trying to flip it ahead and knock down, following up his green, moves to the Massena line. It's dumped in the zone. Brian Levac in behind the net now. Drops it for Todd Collins. Collins rides it around the boards for Jason LaBarge, and Massena will break out. Headman to Jake Morris. Morris across the blue line on the right side. Here's Jake with it. Swept away, but Chris Cameron is there to poke it back to the point. Todd Collins slides it right on. Save made by Blanchard. And an acrobatic save that time. I think he made it look a little tougher than it actually was. Blanchard now pokes it in the corner as Massena tries to center. Comes back to Levac at the blue line. His shot goes off a defenseman's head into the corner, and it's picked up there by John Thaler. He rides it around the boards and out to center ice. Here comes Potsdam. In the zone is Chris King. in the Massena zone. Slides it in front, poked away, though, by Levac, out to center ice. Dumped back in by Hayes, picked up by Collins from Massena. Headman, Jason Labarge. Labarge takes it in on the right side, winds it up. His shot is blocked, and it comes into the corner. Chris Cameron in front to Chilton. His shot, he fired it wide. Oh, big wrist shot by Chile. Back to the blue line, and Potsdam picks it up and moves it out to center ice. Poke checked away. Here's Chile with it, flipping it inside Potsdam territory as Massena completes the line change. In the corner now, picked up by Derek Green. He rides it all the way down. Putnam is trying to race for it. He can't catch up, and icing will be the call.
Raiders just missed a glorious scoring opportunity. Jason Chilton just coming off the bench. The Raiders were making a change. Chris Cameron still on the ice. Chilton broke through the slot, and Chris Cameron fed him a perfect pass, and Chile wound up from about 30 feet out and really zinged one. And I think it probably had Kerry Blanchard beaten. He didn't react quick enough, but fortunately for the Sandstoners, it was just off the top corner of the net.
Off the face-off. It's Chile's line out there now, facing off against the Putnam line. Puck comes in behind the net. Bergeron looks to center, goes all the way back to the point. Barkley has to flip it in the corner, knocked down in front. Kellison, he fires it high upstairs, up into the wall, looking for that crossbar shot, and it was way high.
A bouncing puck. Aaron Barkley flipped it in from the point, and it hipped and hopped and skipped. And when it ended up in front of Kerry Blanchard, there were two white shirts, Freddie Kellison and Sebastian Bergeron, both of them standing there. Freddie Kellison opted to take it, and he ripped one, but he, as we mentioned, that puck was bouncing, and he got it up on the edge and up over the top of the glass.
Face-off moves outside the zone as Putnam will face against Chile. Off the draw, Barkley flips it ahead. Bergeron takes it across, trying to knock it through. He's knocked down, and the puck comes back out to David Grant. Here comes Grant for the Sandstoners. He just dumps it in the corner Massena zone. Racing for it there is Walker. Walker feeds Putnam back to Walker. High slot, knocked away, and Massena back out. Here's Kellison. Headman to Bergeron. Bergeron rushing by Buchanan. Here's Bergeron, backhand glove by Blanchard. He's going to hold on for the face-off. And Bergeron just beat Buchanan that time and got a good backhander off, but it was a sharp angle. Tough to beat a goaltender like Blanchard on a shot like that.
Something you don't see in high school hockey much anymore, Jerry, because of the curved sticks and because you never see youngsters practicing backhand shots. But Sebastian Bergeron coming down the left side, and he's a right-handed shot, so he took it from just about the dot, just inside the dot, a good sharp backhander, and Blanchard coming up with a good glove save. But a good tough shot by Sebastian Bergeron.
Face-off inside Potsdam territory. Adam Morris digging for it in the circle. Comes away with a puck centering pass. And the save, I think, made by Blanchard on Eddie Davis's shot. Back to Collins at the point. He rips it around the boards in the corner after Derek Green. Eddie Davis gets there first. Pokes it to Trevor Cameron. Here's Cameron in front. It bounces back to the blue line. Todd Collins winds up. His shot knocked down. And the Sandstoners are going to move it out to center ice. Here comes Derek Green. Green into the Massena zone. Gets by the defense. His shot, he fires it wide. Puck whistles around the boards, back to the point, bouncing into the corner. It sits there. They jam for it into the side of the net. It bounces back in behind again. Now Collins can't find it. Bouncing in front, and it's knocked into the corner. And Adam Morris dumps it down the ice. That'll be an icing on Massena, but a good move by Adam Morris.
Jerry, and I think by the officials a good philosophy to approach this game tonight. They're letting them get away with a little more clutching, a little more holding because of the magnitude of the game. And as long as you go in with that idea and say we're going to call it this way throughout, fine. Because on both sides of the coin, we've seen situations where other games there might have been a penalty for holding or maybe moving the guy interference in front. But both George Dobbins and Arnie O'Reilly are kind of letting that slide a little bit tonight.
Off the face-off, puck right in front. Here's the backhander, and it's high over the net by John Thaler. In behind is Chris Cameron. Cameron slides it ahead for Labarge. He pokes it out to center ice. Jake Morris. Morris trying to poke it by. Buchanan makes a good play to break that one up. Back in the Massena zone. Aldis trying to take his man out of the play. That's Mike Saber. And the puck bounces up into the boards, or up in the stands, I should say, over the boards, and we'll have a face-off inside Massena territory.
Little things department, Jerry. You mentioned John Thaler backhanding one wide up over the top. But what happened? Chris Aldis diving on the ice, reached down with his stick and deflected that thing up over, so it never got to Dougie Cullen. Great play by Chris Aldis.
Cameron takes the face-off. Aldis stops out to center ice to Cameron. Here's Chris with a puck now, just sliding it in and following it himself in the corner. Potsdam zone. Here's Cameron, riding it in behind the net, looks to center it. It's knocked away, and Potsdam comes back the other way, out to center ice. Here comes Mike Saber with it. Across the blue line. Saber, Barkley rides him wide, takes him out of the play. And the puck winds up in the corner right side of goaltender Cullen. Aldis is there to flip it ahead for Labarge. Labarge gets tied up, but Jake Morris is going to pick up the puck. He's got Cameron going for the net. It's right in front. They jam at it, and wide in the corner. And Massena player ends up in the net. There's going to be a Potsdam penalty as Jason Labarge ended up in the net. And it's going to be a holding call against the Stoners.
They caught Potsdam on a poor line change. Again, that's so important. Little things department. You talk about face-offs, and changing is so important, and when to change. And the Sandstoners got caught making a change when the puck was coming out of their zone into the neutral zone, and that's what happened. The Potsdam player had to put the clutch on Jason Labarge. As it was, the Raiders still came in with a 2-on-1 opportunity and almost banked one, but a poor line change by the Sandstoners, which allows Massena, with 11-12 left to go in the second period in a 0-0 hockey game, to go on a power play.
No score on the Peach Jewelers scoreboard. 11-12 left in the second period. And it's going to be Trevor Cameron out there centering Adam Morris Jason Chilton centering Trevor Cameron and Adam Morris. Collins and Levac are at the points. Off the faceoff, back to the point. Brian Levac fakes the shot, has it knocked away. Here comes Potsdam's David Grant. He's got a breakaway. Grant breaks in, he shot, he scores!
Boy, the Potsdam contingent on the far side to our right is really going wild. And the Raiders' only 3 previous losses, as you and I know this year, Jerry, has been when the opposition has scored the first goal of the hockey game, and the Sandstoners are on the board here. David Grant's going to get an unassisted goal. He read Brian Levac trying to throw the puck across to his partner on the opposite side, and as Brian, he just delayed a little bit and telegraphed the pass. Grant jumped up, intercepted the pass, and went in alone on Dougie Cullen, and he read Dougie well. He backed him in, and then he fired it to the glove side just high above the left glove and put the Sandstoners up 1-0.
Potsdam, a shorthanded goal, and they lead it 1-0. Puck bounces along the boards. Putnam throws a check and bounces free to Levac. He goes to Trevor Cameron. Cameron takes it across the blue line to Levac, to Adam Morris. Morris trying to skate it through, gets knocked down. Levac picks it up. Back to the point. Here's Todd Collins with it. Gets by the check. Here's Collins. His shot. Save made by Blanchard. He didn't move on it. Now the puck bounces back to Chilton. Chilton goes to Levac at the point. He fakes it this time. It doesn't shoot. Puck bouncing in the corner to Chilton. Chilton to Trevor Cameron. Back to Levac. Levac trying to bounce it into the corner. Knocked down by Collins. Goes to Chilton. And we got a hand pass called on Massena. And the faceoff will move outside the zone.
Very important for the Raiders to see if they can. That's got to be a blow to the midsection. You're on a power play. They haven't given up too many shorthanded goals this year. And to have the Sandstoners in a big game like this get on the board first. So we still have 42 seconds left in that power play. Number 2 in the backs, Alex Smith for holding. And Coach Stan Moore is going to make a change. He's bringing out the Jake Morris line, Chris Cameron and Jason Labarge.
42 seconds left in the power play. Here's Aldis with it, taking it in the zone, looking to set it up. Aldis at the 45, back to Labarge at the point. He winds up his shot. Save made by Blanchard. Back to the point, kept in by Barkley. Barkley flips it to Morris in the corner. Back to Cameron. Chris has a go behind him, but he picks it up in behind the net. Circles back out right side. Here's Cameron to Labarge. Labarge back to Aldis at the point. Aldis shot just wide. Puck whips around the boards. 15 seconds left in the power play. Here's the shot from Barkley. Knocked down. Bounces to Aldis. Aldis in the corner. Moving it around. 6 seconds. Back to Barkley. Barkley to Jake. Jake can't get the shot off. He flips to Cameron instead in the corner. The penalty is up as the bouncing puck comes back to the blue line. And out to center ice is Smith. And he flips it to the Massena line. Back out to center ice. Back in the Massena zone. And offsides will be called. And the Sandstoners kill it off. Massena moved the puck around pretty well, but really didn't get any good shots.
Well, they did, Jerry. They moved the puck around really well. I was really pleased with that power play. Moved it, found the open man, got a few shots. They didn't get on net. They hit something deflected wide, and 2 of them got there. And Blanchard with that, he makes things look so easy. 2 of them, we had a perfect angle labeled for the top right-hand corner, and he just kind of put that right shoulder up there in the right blocker and picked them right off.
Off the face-off, puck in the Massena zone. Collins, headman to Trevor Cameron. Here comes Cameron, feeding Adam Morris, goes behind him, but offside's called on Massena anyway.
But I know the Raider coaching staff will be pleased, even though they finished that power play. They still looked aggressive, and that's a positive sign. You know, that we were worried about that goal if it would, kick them in the guts. But they took it right to Potsdam.
1-0 Potsdam leading on the shorthanded goal. And here comes Adam Morris. Off the faceoff, knocked away, bounces back to the blue line. Brian Levac trying to flip it ahead. Goes to Morris. Morris's pass intercepted. Cameron trying to come up with it. And it slides to the Massena zone. Levac back ahead for Morris. Here comes Adam across the blue line. He's got T. Cameron with him. Flips it, goes off the back of his skate. Eddie Davis gets knocked down. And there's going to be a penalty on Potsdam again, as Eddie Davis was breaking for the net for the loose puck, and he got hauled down by, I think that was Putnam, and he'll go to the gate for probably holding.
No question. And Arnie O'Reilly is going to call him for interference. Either one holding the interference. Sean Putnam is pleading his case, but there's no question. He had the clutch on Eddie Davis. Eddie Davis following up on the play, the third man on the rush, and would have had probably a free chance to the net. But Putnam, back-checking, put the clutch on him. Arnie O'Reilly on the call. The Raiders right back in the power play with 8:59 left in the second period.
1-0 the score, Potsdam. On the Peach Jewelers scoreboard, off the faceoff. Bounces out to center ice, back to the Massena blue line. Aaron Barkley is there. Barkley flipping it ahead for Chris Cameron, goes by him into the Potsdam zone. Chris Hayes slides it back to the Massena line. Aldis is there to turn it around. Flipping it ahead for Chris Cameron. Here comes Cameron in the zone now. Takes it into the corner. In behind the net now, looking to set up the power play. Goes to Aldis at the point. Aldis has shot right on the rebound, and Cameron fanned on it. A bouncing puck. He had a great opportunity, and it's poked back out to center ice. Aldis flipping for Jake, gets by him, but here's Barkley controlling it. Ahead to Aldis. Here's Aldis now. Takes it across the blue line into the Potsdam zone. Goes to Labarge. Cross ice pass to Jake. To Cameron in the corner. Cameron back to Jake Morris. Jake flips it back to Cameron in the corner. Here's Chris getting by the defense. Taking it in front, has it poke checked away by Blanchard. Back to the point. Here's Barkley. Barkley to Morris. To Chris Cameron. Cameron circles back to the point. Barkley, he's got time. He winds it. The shot, the save. Sits in front. They jam at it. It's still free. And finally, Blanchard covers it up.
We got 4 orange shirts down in there and 3 white shirts, and what a scrum in front of Kerry Blanchard. But Chris Cameron just prior to that had a glorious opportunity. Shot come back from the point. Chris Aldis got through. Blanchard makes the save. Chris Cameron skating across the crease from left to right. The puck is right there. He's got Blanchard out of position, and as he goes to swat it in the empty net, it hops up over his stick, and he fanned on it. Whoa.
Face-off will be in Potsdam territory. 23 seconds left of the power play. The Jason Chilton unit comes out there now. 1-0 Potsdam leads. Chilton out there with Trevor Cameron and Adam Morris. Todd Collins and Brian Levac are playing the points. Face-off left side. Off the draw. Comes to T. Cameron. Back to Levac at the point. To Cameron. Back to Levac. Levac winds up. His shot is knocked down again. It bounces up into the stands. Off the defenseman's foot.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, the Sandstoners are plugging that middle, trying to create all kinds of havoc as Massena cuts through, whether on a regular shift or on a power play. They're doing everything under their power. They're pushing and tugging and grabbing and upending the Raider forwards in front. But they're persistent at it, and they've done an excellent job up to this point.
Face-off moves out near the blue line. Off the draw, it's going to crawl across and move down the ice into the Massena zone. Comes to Tony Walker. Here's Walker right in front. His shot. Save made. Rebound in front. Oh, I'm not sure if that got through or not. Maybe not. And Levac flips it ahead to the Potsdam line. Bounces back to the Massena line. We're back to full strength. Knocked back out again. Adam Morris comes back for it. Here comes Morris now for the Raiders. Leading the attack. Takes it across. Winds up. His shot is wide. In the corner. Goes to the side of the net. And Blanchard is going to cover up for the faceoff.
Adam Morris, in the last part of the season, has really brought his game up a notch, Jerry. He's had an outstanding year for Massena. He leads them in goals scored, 25 goals and 15 assists for 40 points. He got off to a hot start and then kind of in a little bit of a lull halfway through the season. He was spending a lot of time in the penalty box, but this last part of the season, he has really upped his game, and he's flying out here tonight.
Still 1-0 Potsdam on the Peach Jewelers scoreboard with 7:14 remaining in the second period. Jake Morris will take the face-off against Mike Saber in the Potsdam zone, right side. Off the draw, puck in the corner. Controlled by Buchanan, doesn't get it out. Kept in by Aldis, he flips it in behind the net. Chris Cameron trying to corral it. It comes to Alex Smith. Cameron and Smith go together. The puck kicks free. Picked up by Chris King, who rides it around on the other side for Buchanan. Buchanan rides it out. It's intercepted. Comes to Jason LaBarge. Chris Cameron in front, and the shot hits the side of the net. He really didn't get a good one off. And the puck comes free, and it's kicked around the board. Sandstoners try to clear it to the blue line. Kept in there by Aldis as he jams for it. Where's the puck? Still free. They bang at it. Comes to Cameron in the corner. Cameron and Buchanan. And they both get tied up. And coming in after it is Jason Fowler. And Buchanan and Cameron are all tied together there. And I don't know what's going to happen. Uh-oh.
Buchanan has gone the other way to the right, and we're looking down to our left, and Chris Cameron and Jason Buchanan are wrapped up in a little set-to down here, and I think the official's going to run them both. They had to. He tried to give them every chance in the book to disentangle themselves and say, okay, fellas, let's play hockey, but they had a little something going, so Arnie O'Reilly could only wait so long, and finally he blew the whistle, and they'll each pick up a minor, and it'll be at his discretion. He could call holding, he could call roughing, he could call waltzing around Matilda, whatever he wants to, but each player, he's giving them double minors, so maybe he won't call waltzing around Matilda, but it's equal anyway. Both players are going to spend 3 minutes in the penalty box.
So that means 4-on-4 for 3 minutes. Roughing the call.
Okay, I think the officials up to this point have done an outstanding job, Jerry. They're letting these kids play hockey, and really a good job by George Dobbin and Arnie O'Reilly.
1-0 the score for Potsdam. On a shorthanded goal, here's Bergeron taken out of the play, and the Sandstoners coming back the other way. Chilton steals it away, flips it, knocked back to the blue line into the Massena zone. Collins to Brian Levac. Here's Levac. Gets checked out of the play, and the puck comes free to David Grant. Grant turning around the other way, has it taken away by Chili. Here comes Chilton busting into the right side. Chilton takes it side of the net, can't get the shot off. He's too well tied up, but he stays with it anyway. Here's Chilton back to the point. Collins goes to Levac. Levac tees it up, deflected right on by Bergeron. The rebound, Chilton score! Jason Chilton picked up the rebound, and Massena ties it up on the 4-on-4. It's 1-1.
Jason Chilton racked that one up to the upper corner after Kerry Blanchard had made the save. The shot came from the point, and I think it was Brian Levac who really got a low screaming drive from the point, and Sebastian Bergeron was in front and deflected it, and Kerry Blanchard had to make a great save. The rebound came out to Jason Chilton, who was just hogtied by a Potsdam defenseman all over him, but somehow he shook him loose and got the stick to it and put it up to the top left-hand corner, right in under the crossbar, and Kerry Blanchard had no chance. But a great shot by Brian Levac, a great deflection in there, but Jason Chilton wasn't going to be denied.
Listen to that crowd make some noise, huh? 1-1 tie hockey game here. We're in the second period. Here's Brian Levac with it. Moving it ahead. It bounces off a leg. Comes back in the Massena zone. Todd Collins with it. Collins goes to Levac, and he carries it out to center ice. Here's Levac. Headman for Trevor Cameron goes by him. Back the other way comes the Sandstoners. They're content to dump it in the Massena zone. And they come up with a puck. Back to the point. Adam Morris steals it. Here's Morris feeding Trevor Cameron. Cameron trying to get by the defense, but a good job there by Alex Smith to take care of him, take him out of the play. That was an excellent job by Smith. Here's Collins, flipping it in the zone. That was a delay offsides on Massena as the two forwards went in first. Now they clear the zone, but Potsdam controls it. Down the sideline for Grant. Aldis gets knocked down, comes up with it anyway. Grant knocked him down. Here comes Adam Morris, trying to slide it through, but Blanchard is out of the net to play it down the ice. And coming back after it is Chris Aldis. Here's Aldis. A little bit of a problem as Putnam almost stole it. Aldis is going to ride it around the boards to the blue line out to center ice. Here comes Adam Morris with a 2-on-1. Trevor Cameron feeds it to Cameron. Knocked down in front. and back out to center ice it comes. We're going to be a penalty on Massena as Aaron Barkley is going to get a holding call. And Potsdam will go back on the power play here as Barkley gets called for holding.
A great defensive play just prior to that by number 17, Mike Saber. Raiders came down on a 2-1. And just prior to that, Adam Morris came down on a 1-on-2, shifted gears, and just left the two Potsdam players, Alex Smith and Mike Saber. They try to sandwich him, and they flatten each other.
Holding the call on Aaron Barkley. Potsdam goes on the power play. This is a 4-on-3 power play for 1:05. Off the faceoff, it comes to Chris Hayes. Hayes, just across the blue line. In the zone, Grant drops it back to Putnam at the point. Morris, forechecking him, takes the puck and flips it down the ice. Good bit of stick handling there by Jake Morris and forechecking. Now back the other way comes Derek Green. Flips it to the Massena zone. Grant feeding Putnam, busting through the middle, but Collins pokes it away now. Putnam picking it up again, out by the blue line. Flips it to Derek Green. Here's Green. His shot is blocked by Levac. Levac takes a whack at it, stays with it, and pokes it out to center ice. Good job by Brian Levac. Persistence that time.
Outstanding job by Brian Levac, not only to block the shot, but to clear the zone.
Here comes Grant, loses it, and Levac dumps it back down the ice. 18 seconds left in the matching minors, 40 seconds in the Massena penalty. Here's David Grant with it in the Massena zone. Grant going wide. Levac forces him into the corner. Grant stays with it, though. Drops it. In the corner for Putnam. Putnam and Levac are digging for it. The puck underneath, and it comes to Jake Morris. The penalties are up. It bounces in front. They jam for it. And finally, it comes bouncing, and Morris got a stick on it on the way by. And I'll tell you what, Todd Collins did a great job in front of that net.
Todd Collins and Brian Levac, super job.
Here comes Potsdam again. Mike Saber in the zone. 4 seconds left in the power play. He's taken into the boards, and Massena clears it out, and they got a man back on the ice in Barkley. Potsdam with a puck of their own end. 3 minutes left to play in the second period, and it's 1-1 tie. Puck dumped by Potsdam in the Massena zone. Side of the net comes to Collins. Collins looking for Adam Morris. Doesn't get it to the blue line. They wave at it. It comes out. Morris gets a piece of it. It goes to Collins. Collins drops it for Cameron. Chris has to come back after it. Chris Cameron with a puck in his own end. Goes to Adam Morris. He leaves it. And out to center ice it goes. Picked up there by Chris Hayes to the Massena line. Chris Cameron couldn't get it, and it's dumped back in the zone. In the Massena zone, it rips into the corner. After it there is Mike Saber. He's taken out of the play by Collins. And Adam Morris flips it ahead for Trevor Cameron. Cameron going to Collins, knocked away from him. Puck bounces right in the slot, but it's picked up there by Jason Labarge. Moves it to the blue line, but not out. Dumped back in, bounces in behind the net. Labarge with it, trying to tie it up in behind, and Saber. Collins comes into the fray, flips it, but not out of the zone. Here's the drive from the point, goes wide into the corner. Back out toward the blue line, picked up by Jason Labarge. Labarge wraps it around on the other side. Nobody there for Massena. It comes along the boards. Trevor Cameron knocks it to the blue line and out to center ice. Eddie Davis with it, has it poked away. Comes to Jason Labarge. Labarge, headman pass. Adam Morris going for Trevor Cameron. Here comes Cameron in the corner. He's got Eddie Davis. Feeds him in the slot. Davis back to the point to Barkley. And Aaron can't keep it in. The pass was behind him. Here's Barkley at the red line. Over to Aldis. He slides it in the zone. Massena clears the zone. It's stopped by Putnam in behind the net. Ripped around the boards to the blue line. And Chili can't keep it in. Here's Chilton with it. Dropping it for Aldis. Aldis at his own blue line. Headman to Barkley. Barkley flips it ahead for Kellison. Here's Freddie with it. Takes it in, slides it free in the corner, knocked away. It comes right in front of the net, but it's picked up by Alex Smith. Rides it around the boards to the blue line, and finally it rides out to center ice. Chilton is there to flip it ahead. Massena clears the zone. Blanchard stops it with a minute left to play. In the second period, the puck bouncing away. Bergeron pokes it free to Kellison to Bergeron, and he had the bouncing puck. Couldn't get the shot off. Here's Chili in the corner, riding it around the boards. Barkley throws a check. The puck bounces out to center ice. Bergeron flipping it back ahead for Barkley. Barkley gets tied up by Putnam. The puck bounces free, sits in front, poked free by Bergeron. Bergeron stays with it to Kellison. It comes wide, and it's into the corner with 30 seconds left. Potsdam zone. Chili throws a check. The puck tied up, comes back to Aldis. His shot on the fly. Oh, he missed it by about 2 inches. Back to the other point. Kept in by Barkley to Bergeron. Bergeron to Chilton. Chilton in the corner gets tied up trying to stay with it, but Putnam takes it away. Rides it behind the net. Kellison running some interference on him. Aldis pinches in the corner, stays with it, goes to Kellison in front. Bergeron, he overskated it. With 5 seconds left, Chilton steals it in front. Here's Chilton, gets the shot off. There's a penalty, and there's the buzzer. There's going to be a penalty on Potsdam for tripping at the buzzer. And Massena will start out on the power play, but the second period ends, and we're all tied up at 1 apiece.
What a sequence here at the end. It all started when Sebastian Bergeron read a clearing pass by the Sandstoners, stepped up and intercepted the pass, and it all fell into place. The last 45 seconds, they were all over the Potsdam end, and right at the end, the Sandstoners had to take a penalty. Chilton then broke down between the seam and has the defense, both offense and defense, and Kerry Blanchard keyed on Jason Chilton. Chris Cameron just stepped out around, and on the forehand, he reamed one low along the ice and hit the inside of the far post to put the Raiders up 2-1.
Off the face-off. Here's Jason LaBarge flipping it in the zone. Cameron picks it up. Chris in front. Nice save. Again by Blanchard. Now Morris after. Cameron comes back for it. Picks it up. Cameron drops it. Barkley at the point. His shot deflects in front. They jam. And is it in the net? No. Yes, the light comes on, but the official says no goal. Blanchard, I think, kept it out.
George Dobbins lost sight of it. He was on the far side. And Kerry Blanchard, there was a melee. The shot came in, it bounced. Blanchard made the save. And I think Jake Morris pushed at it again. And George Dobbins lost sight of it. You and I could see it from here. It was between Blanchard's legs. He didn't have control of it. But George Dobbins followed the rule. When he lost sight, he blew that whistle. And that goal, although it crossed the goal line, is not going to count.
Face-off will come in the Potsdam zone to the left of goaltender Kerry Blanchard. 2-1 Massena. Massena scored with 1 second left on the power play.
1 second left. Again on that last one, George Dobbins explaining to the PA announcer. Again, he was in position, and he did the only thing he could. He lost sight of it, and he thought that Blanchard had it, and he blew the whistle. And just after that, just a fraction later, the red light came on. The fans, of course, majority here partial to Massena, and they're giving George Dobbins a big boo, but again,
I didn't think that was the reason, though. I thought it was because he lost sight. Well, so our whole scenario was all wrong. The net was off. Anyway, off the face-off. Puck in behind, picked up there by Alex Smith. Potsdam defenseman, he flips it to the blue line to Sean Putnam, and here comes Putnam leading the attack. Into the Massena zone, Putnam gets knocked down, the puck sits in front, it's dumped into the corner. Freddie Kellison moving it along the boards, trying to slide it ahead, he controls it, flips it to Bergeron. Bergeron has it taken away by Buchanan. Buchanan sliding it to the Massena line, Jason Chilton is there to Bergeron. Sebastian flips it ahead for Chilton, breaking in the zone. Here's Chilton in the corner, gets tied up by David Grant, stays with it, gets knocked down, and the puck comes free in behind. They jam for it there, and Freddie Kellison steps into the fray, goes to Chile with it. Here's Chilton tied up again, and picking up the puck is Tony Walker. He loses it behind Bergeron as the puck went up into the mesh. Sebastian is just yearning on the mesh there with his stick, but he couldn't get the puck to poke free.
Jerry, I want to defend our position on that last, what we rationalized on that goal. You know, I really think that we were right, but George Dobbins is a little quicker. The net did come off, but this was much later, and as good officials, you have to be part-time lawyers, and he used that in there to ease the crowd, saying the net was off the mooring.
We're going to see Bobby Whitcup for the first time tonight. In the zone, Trevor Cameron flips it in the corner, taken out of the play. Picking it up is John Thaler. He wraps it around the boards, and the Sandstoners try to move out. Doesn't clear the zone. Whitcup's got it. Here's Bobby with it. Trevor Cameron's lost his stick. He kicks at it, gets knocked down. The bouncing puck comes to the blue line. Whitcup steals. Here's Bobby in front. Can't get the shot. He goes to Adam Morris. It bounces free, and Potsdam moves it back out to center. No, they don't. Adam Morris keeps it in. Here's Bobby Whitcup in the corner. Whitcup gets tied up. Adam comes in to take the puck. Here's Morris poking it in behind the net. Whitcup goes after it. It rides around the boards. Aldis can't keep it in. He's going to drop it over to Barkley. Barkley flips it in the Potsdam zone, comes into the corner. In the corner now. Potsdam trying to move it. Kept in by T. Cameron. Goes to Whitcup. Goes into his skates. Bobby a little bit rusty. Hasn't played in a while. Back to Aldis. He tees it up. The shot. Oh, deflected just wide. just wide. Aldis pinches in, keeps it in the corner, goes to Whitcup, to Trevor Cameron. Here's Cameron in front, gets by the check, shot, save, rebound, they jam at it, and Blanchard covers up and holds on for the face-off. And oh boy, what a scrum in front of the net.
Bobby Whitcup, first shift of the night. We didn't think he was going to see any ice time tonight because just coming off that operation. But Eddie Davis sitting in the penalty box with that misconduct. And what a shift it was for Bobby Whitcup. When he was out there on that particular shift, the puck stayed in the Potsdam end for the whole 35 seconds. A great, maybe longer than 35 seconds. But he is an impact player, that Bobby Whitcup. He gives you that 120% every time he's out there.
Face-off will be in the Potsdam zone to the left of goaltender Kerry Blanchard. And we've got Jake Morris out there with Jason LaBarge and Chris Cameron. Collins and Levac will be the point men. And it will be Sean Putnam to face off for Potsdam. Off the draw, it comes to Alex Smith. Rides it around the boards. Collins at the point. His shot deflected wide. Bounces over to David Grant. And Grant will start out. He's got Putnam breaking. And the pass is knocked down. And offsides will be called. I think it hit the official, actually.
Again, that time the... Putnam got in behind the two, David Grant in behind the two Raider defensemen, and if his teammate could have got him that pass, he was in free on Dougie Cullen.
2-1, Massena leads here on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. 11:57 left in the third period. Again, Massena 2, Potsdam 1. Off the face-off, puck goes in and out, back in again, and it comes to Brian Levac in behind his own net. Here's Levac, stopping, steps by the check, starts it up. Here's Levac now. Head man to Jake, and it goes by him. That'll be an icing. And Morris almost would have been away, but icing the call, and we'll move it back the other way.
We'll give you that go-ahead goal for the Raiders at the Chris Cameron, his 23rd of the year, was a power play. 25 seconds into the power play, Aaron Barkley and Jason Chilton picking up assists. So Chris Cameron's 23rd of the year.
Came at a big time for Chris.
It certainly did.
Face-off back in the Massena zone. Jason LaBarge will take it against David Grant. Off the face, goes to the side of the net. And Cullen steers it for Levac, and he starts it out from Massena. Brian Levac across the blue line into the Potsdam zone. He's ridden off the play, but stays with it. He's tied up in behind the nets, trying to keep his stick with it. It's taken away from him by Chris Hayes, and Levac is down, gets up slowly, and the puck comes back inside the blue line. Back out to center ice. Hayes is going to dump it in the Massena zone. Levac comes off slowly, but I think he's okay. In behind the net now, puck around the boards, Jason LaBarge. LaBarge headman to Chris Cameron. Cameron breaking in one-on-one with Derek Green, and Green just gets a stick on it, goes into the corner. Here's Cameron feeding it in the slot, but Putnam is there to lead the attack for Potsdam. Here comes Putnam, flipping ahead to Grant. His shot way wide. Whistles around the boards, back to center ice, as a matter of fact. And back to Jason Buchanan at his own blue line. Now back it goes to Chris King. He's ridden into the boards. The puck comes to Aaron Barkley. Barkley headman to Jake Morris. Here comes Morris, all by himself. Gets a weak shot off. Save made by Blanchard. Potsdam clears it back out. Back in the zone again. Aldis to Freddie Kellison. Kellison in the corner now. Steps by the D, trying to center it. Hits the side of the net. Picked up there by Chris King, and King starts it out for Potsdam. Ahead it goes to Mike Saber. Here's Saber at the blue line, sliding it in the middle of the Massena zone. Freddie Kellison is there. Headman pass. Chilton with it, trying to come up with it. He can't. Bounces back to the Massena line. We have a whistle, and Bergeron is down. And I don't know what happened to him. It happened below us, but I wasn't looking in that direction.
I saw it. He took a pass from his own defenseman. He had his head back, and he made a great touch pass to his line mate. But as he did, number 22, Jason Buchanan, just reamed him. It was a good, clean check, but Sebastian never saw him, and he hit him flush and put him right down on the backside. I think he just kind of winded, truthfully. Coach Tim Long is out there. In fact, just as Coach Long gets there, Sebastian's up on his knees. But a super check by Jason Buchanan got Sebastian with his head down. Between periods, Jerry had a little chat with last year's captain, and he gave us certainly a lot of thrills. Boy, we got we can't chart all the thrills he gave us last year with his inspired play, and he's down at Union this year, and I asked him how school was going, young Mr. Bigelow, and he said it was very enjoyable. He enjoyed school, and he's playing a little bit of hockey, and he's enjoying the game. And he also agrees that Massena brings the best out in Potsdam.
Yeah, there's no question about that. 10:09 left in the third period. Raiders lead it by the slimmest of margins, 2-1 here in the third period on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. And Bergeron's being helped off the ice.
Could be that maybe that shoulder again. He hurt earlier in the year down
Could very well be.
The way I thought it was possibly just being winded, but he seems to be carrying that right arm a little low.
Off the faceoff, puck out to center ice. Trevor Cameron gets by the defense. Here's Cameron getting knocked down. Adam Morris, the shot, the save, the rebound. The whistle blows. Oh boy! And Trevor Cameron was just impeded enough where he couldn't get the good shot off.
And there's going to be a Potsdam penalty. They're going to put, you mentioned Trevor Cameron. When he gets on a mission, he's just almost impossible to deny. And he just took the Potsdam defenseman right in on top of Kerry Blanchard. And the Raiders almost picked up the rebound. Adam Morris, following up like good hockey players do, jumped down, and he almost got his stick on that loose rebound. But the Raiders are going to go on a power play. Alex Smith is going to pick up a penalty for holding, and glorious opportunity with 10 minutes left in the third period. Massena up 2-1. Potsdam sagged, which is normal for any club during this last goal, and you can just see just a little bit of the air gone out of the balloon.
Face-off right side in the Potsdam zone. Chilton out there with Chris Cameron and Jason Labarge. Barkley and Aldous are at the points. To take the face-off, Putnam. Massena wins it. Jason Labarge takes it in the corner. Here's Labarge riding it around to Chris Cameron in the corner. Cameron has it poked away. They jam for it behind the net. Labarge picks it up, looks to center, bounces away. Cameron again. He's ridden into the boards by Chris Hayes, and Putnam picks up the puck. He tries to pass. It's fanned on. It comes back to the blue line, but it's intercepted. And here comes Potsdam with a 2-on-2 break. Racing in as David Grant drops for Putnam, and Putnam just takes it in the corner, loses it, and it's flipped into Barkley in behind the net. But it wasted a lot of time, and that's the whole idea when you're killing a penalty. Here comes Chris Cameron. In the zone, Cameron takes it in the corner now, looking to set up the power play. In behind the net, rides it to Aldous, has it poked away, and down the ice it goes. Doug Cullen way out of his net. To leave it for Barkley. 40 seconds left in the Massena power play. Here comes Chile with a puck, dropping it for Barkley. Aaron starts it out. Headman to Chris Aldous. Aldous now takes it into the zone. Here's Aldous looking in the corner now, falls down. Labarge gets tied up, trying to move it along the boards now. They jam for it. Cameron's in there, and he picks up the puck. Here comes Cameron right in front to Chilton, and he fired it wide. Oh, nice pass by Chris Cameron. Excellent pass. Now the puck comes back to Barkley at the point. Barkley flips it in for Cameron. In behind the net, he's ridden out of the play. 7 seconds left in the power play. Jason Labarge back at the point to Barkley. Barkley slides it right on, deflected. Oh, just wide. And the puck comes to Chile. Penalty is up, and Potsdam killed it off, and in fact, they break back the other way. Here's Smith with the puck, and he has it poked away by Chilton. Chilton back. Here's Chile with it. Gets by the check. Takes it in. His shot. He fired it wide. Bouncing puck is corralled by Blanchard as it came off the backboard right in front of the net. And Kerry had no way of knowing who was coming in on it from Massena. He covered up for the faceoff.
We didn't get a lot of, we gained the zone and moved the puck around, but I don't know if we got an official shot on the net or not. Just right at the end of that power play, shot came from the point, and I think it was Jason Chilton that redirected it, got a stick on it, but might have redirected it wide. That was the best scoring opportunity. Good job by the Sandstoners.
Jake Morris out there with Freddie Kellison and Sebastian Bergeron. So Bergeron's okay. Off the face-off against Sabre. The puck comes in behind the net. Buchanan rides it around the boards for Alex Smith. Smith moving it out to center ice. Comes to Collins. Collins goes to Levac. Levac backs into his own zone. Goes back to Collins. Here's Collins. Headman to Kellison. He just directs it in the corner. Potsdam zone. Buchanan after it there. Buchanan runs into Kellison. The puck bounces free to Smith. Left side of the goalie. He starts it out. His headman out to center ice. And down the ice it comes. Here comes Thaler through the middle, gets a backhander off that's wide, and it's picked up there by Levac. Levac gets knocked down, flips it ahead to Kellison, who moves it into the Potsdam zone. That's going to come right in on Blanchard. Blanchard flips back to the blue line, does not get out of the zone, but the Sandstone, no, Bergeron forechecking comes up with it. Now it's Adam Morris flipping in the corner, but Potsdam clears it out to center ice. Here comes Aldous with it, picking up a forechecker, drops it over to Barkley, who goes to Bobby Whitcup. Whitcup for Jake. Jake follows it, goes to Adam Morris. Morris has it knocked away, They jam for it, and it comes back to the Massena line. Aldous will have to come back for it. 2-1 Massena. Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard, 7 minutes remaining. Puck goes right in on Blanchard. He'll make the save and looks to steer it. Now he flips it out to the red line, and a hand carry, or whatever you want to call it, carrying the puck on Potsdam. And that was called on Tom McCabe, who was seeing his first ice time tonight. And so the faceoff will move back in the Potsdam zone. Down to 6:54 left in the third period. Raiders lead it 2-1.
That Raider quartet of Todd Collins, Aaron Barkley, Brian Levac, and Chris Aldous have had an outstanding hockey game here tonight, Jerry. They've been very strong throughout from the start to finish. Just a super job by that foursome.
Off the faceoff, Cameron. Trevor with it, gets knocked off, stays with it. Here's Cameron, gets taken away. Puck bounces to Whitcup. No, back to Aldous. His shot, knocked down in front. They jam Adam Morris, the shot, the save. Morris picks it up, centers it in the circle. Back to the point. Aldous keeps it in. Flips it in the corner. Around the boards it goes. Alex Smith gets tied up by Whitcup. The puck kicks free. Morris moving it to Aldous. Aldous winds up his shot wide. Bounces all the way out to the blue line. Barkley pinching in. It's poked past him, and down the ice it goes. Putnam racing for it, gets there before it crosses the line, but Aldous takes it away from him. Here's Aldous in behind his own net. Flipping it in the corner for Barkley. Barkley rides it up to Whitcup. Whitcup headmans to center ice. Picked up there by Derek Green. Green loses it. Across the blue line is Trevor Cameron to Adam Morris, goes by him, and he didn't see it. And back out to center ice is Chris Hayes. And he just dumps it in the Massena zone, goes in the corner. Racing in after it is Mike Saber. Puck controlled by Adam Morris, steps by the check, starts it up. Oh, meant for Cameron. That'll be an icing on Massena. As he saw Cameron breaking, but it was too hard a pass for Trevor to control.
We talk about Bobby Whitcup, among others. You know, Bobby out there 120%. A little number 5 from Potsdam, Sean Putnam. He's their assistant captain. He's a junior, not very big. 5'7", 155 pounds. He always gives you 120% when he's out there. And I know to the opposition, he's like a thorn in your side. He's just right there and harassing you all the time. And he possesses a lot of quickness.
5:42 left in the third period. And on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard, Massena leads it 2-1. Jason Labarge will face it off against Mike Saber in the Massena zone. Off the draw, puck bounced high in the air, and I think they'll face it off again in the Massena zone.
That was an unusual pass by Brian Levac. In fact, Coach Moore's going to ask him about that when he said he was down in the corner instead of either had an option of going up the strong side, up the boards, or running it behind the net. He tried to come diagonal, and he just golfed it, and Raiders caught a break there.
Off the face-off, puck back to the point, bouncing puck. Here's a shot knocked down in front, the backhander, and it's blocked by Levac. It comes to Saber. Back to the point. Here's the drive knocked down in front, and it comes to Massena's Levac. Feeds it ahead for Morris. Jake takes it in the zone to Lavarge. His shot just wide. Back to Levac at the point. Bounces by him and out to center ice. Here comes Mike Saber in on the Massena net. Collins trying to take him wide. Steers him in behind. He looks to center it. Goes off a leg in behind the net. Todd Collins, great job there. Here comes Jake with a puck now. Gets by the check and starts it out. Here's Morris. Flipping it ahead for Cameron, and he golfs it in the Potsdam zone. Under 5 minutes to play now as Massena makes a wholesale change, although Morris is still out there forechecking. Out to center ice. Kellison intercepts the pass, takes it across. Freddie feeding it in front to Bergeron. He gets knocked down, gets back up again, and trying to play the puck. He can't. Picked up by Sean Putnam. Here comes Putnam into the Massena zone. Trying to go by Aldous. Aldous rides him wide, and the puck comes free to Bergeron. Headman pass meant for Kellison. Freddie racing for it, can't come up with it. It bounces to the Massena line. Kept out of the zone, though, by Aaron Barkley. Barkley steps across the red line, dumps it in Potsdam territory. 4:20 left to play. Third period, still 2-1 Massena. Puck comes to Aldous. Aldous bounces to the Potsdam line. Chris Hayes back to the Massena line. Barkley. Barkley loses the balance, but he comes back up with it. Pokes it ahead to Adam Morris. Here's Morris by a check. Flips it ahead for Chile. Chile takes it in left wing side. Back pass from Morris. And back out to center ice it comes. Bergeron steps in front of it, though, and Chilton picks up the loose puck. Here's Chilton flipping it ahead for Morris. Puck bounces in the corner. Putnam way out of his, or I should say Blanchard way out of his net to flip it up into the stands.
And Adam Morris is questioning the official. Well, he should not be concerned about that. Just stick to Adam, stick to hockey now. The official made the call. He felt that it wasn't intentional delay a game, and just stick to hockey. And cooler heads have prevailed, and there's going to be a face-off to the left of Kerry Blanchard. We thought we'd be really entertained tonight, Jerry, and we haven't been disappointed. The fans here are really being treated to an outstanding hockey game, and it looks like Coach Joe Stark is going to call a timeout, Jerry.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, a timeout. 2-1 the score. Massena leading by a singleton with 3:48 left in the third period. This has been a wild game.
A very emotional game. Both teams highly energized. The crowd right into it, screaming on every call. And again, our officials Arnie O'Reilly and George Dobbins, I felt, have done an outstanding job on this big hockey game.
Well, we just received the score. Yale has defeated St. Lawrence University 3-2.
Playing the rush really well and doing a good job of moving people out in front of Dougie Cullen.
Face off in the Potsdam zone, off the draw. Puck goes into the corner. Ridden around the boards and out to center ice. Collins with it, flips it ahead, has it knocked down. Back into the Massena zone, comes right in on Cullen. He sticks it back to the blue line, out to center ice. No, I guess it didn't make it out, but Massena's going to clear it anyway. Here's Buchanan with it. Shovels it back inside Massena territory. Brian Levac is there. Has it poke checked away, but Collins comes up and covers up and flips it around the boards to the blue line. Whitcup digging for it. Now Trevor Cameron gets tied up. Puck in there, they jam for it. Whitcup backhands it. And is that going to go far enough for icing? No, it's going to come right on Putnam, and he has to play it. He flips it out to center ice, all the way to the Massena line. Saber fakes a shot, and the save made as he used the Massena defenseman for a screen. Now the puck in the corner. Trevor Cameron trying to get it out. Bounces to the side of the net, and Cullen covers it up. Whoa, that was dangerous.
Smart move by Kerry Blanchard. When the shot came down, he read what was happening out in front of him. He saw that Massena was making a line change, Jerry, and they were changing almost all 5 of them. So he smartly flipped the puck up to his teammate that was standing up here at the red line and almost caught the Raiders on a line change. Good smart move by Kerry Blanchard. And the Raiders have to expect that the Sandstoners are going to throw everybody down into the fray. The defensemen are going to be pinching. All they want to do is think defense, run that puck in a hurry, clear the zone. Don't worry about coming out clean. Dump it, fire it out, take an icing if you have to. Think defense.
2:54 remaining, third period. Massena leads 2-1 on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Sean Putnam will take the faceoff against Jason Labarge. Here's where faceoffs get to be very important. Off the draw, back to the point. Here's the drive. The save made by Cullen. He covers up. That shot coming from Chris Hayes, who was Massena's nemesis the last game.
No sooner said than done, Jerry. I'll tell you, Jason Labarge is not used to taking faceoffs out there, and we're going to have a change this time. Chris Cameron's going to take it. Jake's got that broken wrist, and that was a big one, and it was won cleanly by Sean Putnam, and it came back to Hayes, and he fired a low bullet. Dougie had to make the save and pounced on the rebound.
Faced off again, right side of Cullen in the Massena zone.
Might want to put Chili out for that. Well, not time.
Off the face-off. This time Massena wins it. Chris Cameron. Aldis runs it around behind. It comes to Barkley, who goes up to Jake Morris. Morris moves it to center ice. Cameron busting by the Potsdam defense. Here comes Cameron in on Blanchard. The shot, he scores! Chris Cameron gets his second goal, and Massena goes up 3-1.
I'll tell you, Chris Cameron, what a rush by Chris Cameron. He took the pass in full flight from Jake Morris just outside the Massena blue line. The puck came around from the defenseman to Jake Morris on the left wing. Jake turned and hit Chris Cameron, who broke diagonally from the right side across the ice. He took it in full stride, went diagonally across down the left side and went around the Potsdam defenseman, right around him, blew in on Kerry Blanchard, and he went from Blanchard's right to his left, right across the crease, put him down, and put the backhander along the ice to the glove side. What a play by Chris Cameron. His second goal of the night, his 24th, and what a pass by Jake Morris.
Tell you what, Cameron was not going to be denied that time.
I tell you, you couldn't have stopped him if you had a machine gun. What? He went by that Potsdam defenseman like he was standing still.
2:36 left. Off the faceoff, back in the Massena zone. Cullen leaves it for Brian Levac. Levac rides it around the boards. Freddie Kellison. Kellison gets tied up, has the puck knocked away, trying to stay with it. Potsdam controlling, they center it, knocked down. Bouncing puck in the circle, comes in front, cleared by Collins. Collins moves to Chilton, and Chilton gets knocked down but slides it to the Potsdam line. Back after it is Alex Smith. Smith flipping it to Buchanan. He rides it, and Bergeron steals it there, trying to move it to Kellison, knocked away. Here comes Chris King, has it poke-checked. Chilton, and it comes back out front to Mike Saber. Saber flips to the Massena line, takes it across. His shot, fired it wide. Puck whistles around the boards, kept in at the point. Now knocked down by Chili. He dumps it down the ice. And that's going to be picked up there by Derek Green. Green flips. Adam Morris steals the puck. Here's Morris with it. Back out to center ice. Headman to Whitcup. Bobby racing in. Whitcup takes it in the corner. He's ridden out of the play. Stays with it, though. Right in behind the net, trying to wrap it around. Adam Morris waves at it. He gets a piece of it. It's knocked down and finally cleared out to center ice. Whitcup throws a check, comes up with a puck. Here's Whitcup with it, dropping it back to Barkley, a minute 20. Barkley flips it ahead for Adam Morris, gets by him. Now dumped to the Massena line. Aldis to the red line, dumps it back in the Potsdam zone. A minute 10, a minute 9 and counting. Now the puck back to center ice. Aldis is there. He dumps it in the zone. Massena will have to get onside, and they do. Bounces around to Trevor Cameron. Cameron flips to Whitcup in the corner. Here comes Bobby after it, in behind the net. Oh, he gets upended, gets back up, though. Centers it, and it goes in the back of the mesh. Cameron clears it off the mesh, wraps it around or tries to. Now Whitcup with it. 46 seconds. Sean Putnam. Here comes Putnam leading the attack. Out to center ice. Here's Putnam. And Blanchard's out of his net as Potsdam will get the extra attacker. Barkley with it with 30 seconds left. Clears it into the corner. After Richie Scott, he and Whitcup jam. Puck bouncing around. It's underneath Whitcup. And we'll have a face-off with 25 seconds remaining in the third period. Massena leading it 3-1 on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
What a big lift Bobby Whitcup has given this Raider club. Did not see action in the first or second period, but when Eddie Davis took that misconduct, he got some ice time out there, and he's just been spectacular. Jerry, that last goal, the other assist on that, who made the pass, was Aaron Barkley. Chris Cameron won the draw, got it back to Aaron Barkley. He ran it behind the dasher around to Jake Morris, and Jake hit, as we mentioned, Chris on the fly, and it was just beautiful after that. Wow.
Massena's going to take their timeout right now. With 25 seconds remaining in the third period, the Raiders lead it 3-1. It's been a game, hasn't it, Dave? It's been closer than I thought it was going to be. It really was.
Well, again, the big guy down there in between the pipes, he's had 24 saves after 2 periods. We don't know what he's had this period, but again, the same scenario as in the first 2 games. The Raiders have had the edge in territorial play, but in heart, the Sandstoners are right there with them, and they got big number 1 or big number 29, whatever he is. I guess I'm not sure what 30 he's carrying, not number 1.
Should be number 1.
He should be. Big number 30 doing the job back there, but a lot riding on this game tonight. Both teams came to play and put on a super performance. Very entertaining hockey game.
The fans got their money's worth, I guess. Even Randy Burlingame agrees with that.
Well, Randy probably is a little disappointed. He's going to lose out on that. On that wager someone offered him prior to the game, but
he's going to win.
He's going to win. He's going to lose, but he's going to win actually. So.
Face off. Chilton takes it and draws it. Ooh, right across the goal mouth. 22 seconds. Massena trying to clear the zone. Here's a shot, goes way wide into the corner. After it, Putnam with 15 seconds left. Barkley pokes it free, bouncing in the slot. Here's a shot knocked down to the blue line. Into the corner with 9 seconds left. Chili flips it in behind. They're going to count it down now. Aldis controls the puck, bounces it out to center ice, and Massena's going to take first place.
And a great bit of discipline by Jason Chilton at the end. Richie Scott really laid him twice. He got him with an elbow, and he got him with a stick right at the end. And Jason Chilton was able to hold his composure and skate it away from him. And that's just an impressive piece of discipline right there.
What an exciting hockey game, Dave. You know, we haven't seen that many exciting games this year, but the ones we have seen have been dandies, haven't they?
A big game, and the Sandstoners have been, for over the years, and this year's no exception, a nemesis to Massena. This was a big game. It was on the line, first place, home ice advantage, and both teams rose to the challenge, and the Raiders coming back strong in this third period, down a goal, and each of the three losses that they had had this year, the opposition, when they had beaten them, had scored the first goal. And boy, when the Sandstoners got on the board first time, maybe that was going through the minds of some of the players. But
the monkey's off their back, so to speak.
The monkey is off their back is right. A great, entertaining hockey game by these two fine teams, and out there shaking hands. Just a magnificent performance.
Stan Moore just shaking hands with Kerry Blanchard, and I could see his lips. Great game. He played super.